Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's wait just a couple minutes here so other people can join us. We can see a few more faces coming through, which is great. I hope everybody's having a great week so far. I don't know where you guys are at. I'm here in Canada, so it's starting to get cold again. No snow yet, but which is amazing. But yeah, it's starting to getting a little bit chill over here. Okay, we have a few people. So can you guys see my screen? Yes, Alvin, can you see my screen? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, it's nice to see some familiar names that I only know from the virtual world from LinkedIn. So it's nice to see you guys joining us for the conversation today. So let's get started. I'm sure other people will join us as we go through these, but we have quite a lot of things that I want to show you all today. So the conversation that we have for today. So first of all, my name is Bruno Freitas. You guys may know me from the LinkedIn world or the other work that I do, but I am the CEO at PMO Evolution. I have been working with PMO leaders and working with and leading PMOs myself for a number of years, right? So I have gone through the challenges and also the opportunities that all PMO leaders face. And today I'm very happy to be talking about one of the PPM solutions that I like the most, which is Smartsheet. Throughout my journey leading PMOs, I have worked with a number of different PPM solutions, and it's always a hit and miss from my experience. Sometimes you have those PPM tools that are full of features and capabilities, but they become too difficult for your PMO, too difficult for your project management team, and for you as a PMO leader to keep the information up to date, right, and everything trustworthy is very difficult when the team is not really using your PPM system. So we're going to be talking about Smartsheet here. And for all of you that are joining us today, maybe a few of you are familiar with Smartsheet, maybe some of you are not familiar with Smartsheet. That's okay. I'm going to be showing you some of the key capabilities, but I want to do a live demo for you so you can really see all the possibilities that Smartsheet can deliver for you. Okay. All right, so let's get started here. Once again, I have been leading enterprise PMOs for a number of years, not only IT PMOs, but business transformation, mergers and acquisitions, business process improvement, new products, all regulatory projects, all sorts of different things. I learned quite a lot throughout that experience. And of course, as I mentioned, I have used most of the PPM solutions that are very famous in the market, right? I'm sure that some of you have used some of those PPM solutions as well. And I always find challenging to make sure that the project management team is using those solutions the best way possible, right? In a way that the PPM solution is helping them and not only helping me, right? Because as a PMO leader, of course, I have a vested interest that all my projects are in the PPM tool. I want to see the data. I want to see the reports. I want to show that data to my executives and my peers as well. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the project management team is not really enjoying using the PPM tool. And that's what we're going to be talking today. And throughout this conversation, I'm going to share some of the challenge that I found when using some of those PPM tools. I'm also involved with PMI, more specifically with the PMO Global Alliance. This is PMI's arm for PMOs and PMO leaders, right? So we have a number of different resources for PMO leaders, and I know some of you follow the work I do with the PMO Global Alliance. And I have been engaged in several global awards to assess PMOs and also to assess project management or professionals or projects around the world. So that has helped me to gain a lot of insights about what the best PMOs in the world are doing, and some of the opportunities perhaps that I see with some of the other PMOs that I work with and some of the clients that I work with as well. Uh, my trajectory with Smartsheet, I have been using Smartsheet for some time, but PMO Evolution is a Smartsheet partner here in Canada and also in the US. So we have done some Smartsheet implementations for some of our clients. I personally have quite a number of Smartsheet certifications as well. I don't want to consider myself as an expert, but certainly I have gone through some of the challenges of learning a new tool. And the great thing is that you guys will see that Smartsheet is a lot easier to learn than most of the PPM tools that I have experienced. Okay. All right. Okay. And please feel free to ask any questions through the chat. Olive, our lovely digital marketing coordinator, is helping me here. So she'll be looking at the chat and making sure that I'm going through all of your questions as well. So before we go into the, let's say, what you guys want to see, which is Smartsheet, right? Let me share some of the findings here that I have seen personally, but I also have some of these stats that I found in the market, right? So one of the main struggles that we see in organizations is that many organizations, they don't have a PPM system to start with, right? So, and it doesn't matter the size of your organization. I have worked in small organizations, very large organizations as well. I have clients in different industries, in different organization sizes as well. And you see that, no matter the size of your organization, you are going to find some the PMs using things like Microsoft Project or Excel spreadsheets. A lot of project managers, they love the Excel spreadsheets, right? And that's okay, right? But it's hard to believe that nowadays with so many tools, right? With AI, all those things, we are using things like Excel spreadsheets or standalone Microsoft project files to manage very large projects and programs, right? So we are talking about sometimes multi-million dollars project, multi-million dollar programs, and we are using spreadsheets for that, right? I would say that if you had that amount of money in your bank account, you probably would be using something more sophisticated than Excel to be managing your own money. So, if we look at projects as investments as well, it's hard to believe that we are relying on tools like that for managing that size of investment, right? But it's also understandable because at the end of the day, the PM's job is to deliver the projects, right? It's to engage the teams, is to lead the conversation, engage the stakeholders, right? So they don't want to be wasting too much time just playing with Excel, playing with Microsoft Project, right? They want to be in front of the teams and talking to them, make sure that the things are progressing, help them addressing any risks and issues, so the project can be delivered on time, on budget, all those things that we know from the PM block, right? But it's still challenging if you think from enterprise project management office, right? Or even IT PMO, where you have several projects and several project managers as well, that you're going to be managing multi-million dollars portfolios using Excel spreadsheets and Microsoft projects as well. But that's the reality of the vast majority of the organizations here. We can see from different sources that very few organizations are really happy with the PPM solution they have in place. And when I say PPM solution, it's not only the PPM system, but let's say the combination, right? In my previous PMOs, I have used a combination of a PPM system with Power BI dashboards, of course, Excels and all those things, right? So it's that set of tools, right, that I'm calling here a PPM solution, right? And very few organizations are happy to say that they are using those tools with very little manual manipulation of the data, right? So typically when we talk to PMO leaders out there, right? And they are describing that, oh, Bruno, yeah, we don't have visibility of our portfolio. We're having trouble to get that real-time visibility about what's going on with each project and all that, right? It doesn't mean that they don't have the data, right? A lot of times they do have the data. They do have a good project management methodology, right? So they know what they have to do. It's just the time that they are spending to consolidate that data when they need to provide an update to the executive team or to resource managers across the organization or maybe to a finance team, right? They have to spend a lot of time consolidating that data, right? And then it's the PMO leader asking for the project manager to provide that information, putting all that information in Excel spreadsheet, creating PowerPoints and presenting that. And then by the time the PMO leader is ready to present, then there you go. Something changed in one project and all that narrative that you built probably doesn't matter as much anymore. So, it's typically a tooling problem, right? That's what we have seen so far. You have the data, you have the methodology, but you don't have a great system that your team and yourself can rely on to provide that information to your other stakeholders outside of the PMO or even to yourself, right? To help you providing that oversight and that support to the project management team. And then, fun enough, a number of the PMO leaders, they say, okay, I can see this is a problem. I'm going to buy a PPM tool, right? And as I said, and as you guys know, there are so many options in the market, right? So you're going there and you are going to be purchasing whatever tool you like the most, right? And sometimes those systems, they are quite expensive, right? They are not cheap. So you have to make a solid investment on licenses and all that. You have to make an investment on having someone to help you implementing that system for yourself. Maybe you need to hire someone in your PMO operations team to manage the tool for you, right? Or you may have someone in IT that's going to be helping you managing that product, right? So you start seeing there's a huge investment that you are making on that tool, and it becomes like a marriage, right? So you are married to that tool now. You want your project management team to use it. You are going to be asking them to use, and you hope that they are going to be using consistently, right? But what I have seen is that if really you are not making the lives of the project managers easier, their interest to keep the project management tool up to date, it's going to be lower. Right. And what happens is that they are going to find ways to continue using the Excel spreadsheets, the Microsoft project files, because they are comfortable with those tools. They can manage their projects with those tools, right? And basically, they are going to be using your PPM system as a reporting tool for you as a PMO leader, right? So what's going to happen is that me as a PM, I'm going to be managing my schedules, my financials, and all that using my project and my Excel spreadsheets here. And then just because my boss, the PMO leader, wants to see the information about my projects in their reports, I'm going to just be putting information from my Excel spreadsheets into the PPM tool. So now you're duplicating that work, right? And sometimes things change at the project level, right? Milestone dates change, the forecast, the financial forecast for your project change, and all those things. And the PM is not going to be thinking about, oh, the first thing that I need to do is to update the PPM system so my boss know what's going on, right? They are going to be taking care of the project, and they are not wrong doing that, right? So what happens in that case is that you see less traction with your PPM tool, right? And then your reports, the data that you have in your reports, in your dashboards, it becomes less reliable. People will be challenging you a little bit more, and when they see that data is not correct, right? And if they call you out in front of other executives or in a big meeting, it definitely damaged the credibility of your PMO, right? So I have seen and I have gone through this myself, the pain that it can be when you are trying to implement a PPM system that it's not going to reflect your ways of working, right? So if you're just going to try to implement a system and you're going to be asking the PMs to change the ways they do things so they can use the PPM system, potentially you're going to have a problem, right? And even if they use right now, because you are the boss, once you move out, or or move up, let's say in the organization, they may stop using the tool, right? Because now they don't have that person really pushing for them to use the tool, and they don't see the value of using the tool. So your processes might not be scalable as you thought they should be. Okay. All right, cool. And then I have here a number of reasons that PPM tools implementation fail. I'm sure that you guys have gone through a couple of those things. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Smartsheet, right? Because that's why we are here today. So Smartsheet, or the way they call it themselves, it's the Intelligent Work Management Platform. So the Smartsheet doesn't call themselves as a PPM solution, right? As a matter of fact, Smartsheet is a low-code platform, which means that you can create different types of applications using Smartsheet, right? So I have seen grant management systems in Smartsheet. I have seen travel authorization systems in Smartsheet. I have seen event management systems in Smartsheet. And of course, a lot of people use Smartsheet as a PPM solution as well. But you can use Smartsheet for a number of different applications, not only for project management. Okay. So let's take a look at a key considerations here. In case you are not familiar with Smartsheet, you've never heard about Smartsheet before. So Smartsheet is one of the leaders in the industry. Here on the right, you can see the Gartner Magic Quadrant from this year, 2025. And you see that Smartsheet is one of the leaders in the collaborative work management, right? And as we go through the presentation, guys will understand why that is important. But it's one of the leaders. On the left, you can see that these other research from Infotech positions Smartsheet as one of the champions here in the project portfolio management category, because, as I said, most of the organizations they use Smartsheet for as a PPM solution, right? And here I have some stats as well from another research from IDC that shows the return on investment that Smartsheet typically brings to organizations that have used Smartsheet for any type of solution they need. And you may say, "Oh, Bruno, okay, so what are the organizations using Smartsheet, right?" So nowadays, 85% of the Fortune 500 companies in the US are using Smartsheet, right? So those are very large organizations, and I have here a few of the logos that you might be familiar with, and they use Smartsheet quite extensively. But I have seen several, let's say, small or medium-sized organizations using Smartsheet quite well as well. And, it doesn't really matter the size of your organization. It doesn't really matter the size of your PMO. You can use Smartsheet to adjust again, your ways of working, right? And what I have seen typically in our implementations that we start small, and as the PMO evolves, as the PMO matures, we start adding more feature, capturing more data, because the needs of the business, they change as well, and they want to see more. They want to make more decisions. They want to see more insights, right? So that is great, because it shows that the tool can grow with the maturity of your organization. And as I go through the presentation today, I'll show you less sophisticated examples, more sophisticated examples as well, so you guys can have an idea about of what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you are not familiar with Smartsheet at all, right, I'm going to show you some of the very basic elements that we have in Smartsheet. Okay, and basically those are the 5 basic elements that we have in Smartsheet. Okay, the first one is a sheet. So let me bring the Smartsheet over here. And I trust that you all can see my Smartsheet screen here, but I have several projects here, but I'm going to take one of those projects. Let me take this one, Global Brand Awareness Campaign. Let me show you a report. There you go. Okay. So when I this was a test that I was doing, by the way, with on another demo. So let me just remove that column. So what I have here is that the first thing you see is an Excel spreadsheet, exactly like Excel spreadsheet, right? So that's great, because it's an interface that is familiar to your project management team, right? And the Smartsheet, the sheets, the spreadsheets are the building blocks for your PPM system or any other solution that you are building, right? Over here, I can do the same things that I would typically do in an Excel spreadsheet. I can add columns, and I have different types for those columns. I can add data. I have drop downs here. I can add whatever I want here, and all this information will be here. Okay, I can color code with different things and different colors. I can load it, etc. So I can do whatever I want, like I would in an Excel spreadsheet. So this is as I said, the building block. It's a spreadsheet within Smartsheet. The other thing that I wanted to show you, the other key element here, is a form. Okay, so I'm going to use this rate log as an example. So what I did here was I used this the form capability to develop a form for this spreadsheet. So let's say I'm working on a project and I want to ask my team to enter any risks or issues or decisions as they are working on our project. So I don't need to be the only person populating that spreadsheet with data, right? If the team sees anything, I can ask them to use this form, for example, and they can go and populate the information. The fields are very flexible, and I can add logic here. So, for example, if I pick something, I don't want some fields to appear, or if I pick other things here, I want other fields to appear. There are some logic that you can build here as you want, but essentially, you can have this as an interface for your team to enter data into your rate log in this case, which can be very useful if you have weekly meetings with your team and if you want them to add any new risks into the rate log for your upcoming discussions with them. You can ask them to enter data through a form like this, and everything will be then captured in your rate log spreadsheet. Okay. Coming back to my example here, the other thing that it's fun in Smartsheet is these automations here. So you can create a number of different automations that can make your life a lot easier, right? So in this case here, I have a few templates. I can, create something from scratch as well. But for example, if something happens in these rate logs, so let's say I'm adding a new risk, and Alvin is going to be the person who's going to be working on the mitigation plan for that risk, right? So I want to make sure that when I do that, Alavin receives a notification, and she knows that she needs to take a look at that risk, and she needs to work on the mitigation action that I define and assign to her. So I can put simple notifications like that. She can receive through the Smartsheet platform. She can receive through emails, or even through integrations with Microsoft Teams, for example. So Alavin cannot tell me, Bruno, I didn't know about that, because I had many ways to notify her about that. Right? But there are other things here. One that I have used recently was this document generation. So if you have an intake process in your PMO, for example, right, and you have a bunch of projects being submitted, project ideas being submitted, and you want to have a discussion with your executive team about which project ideas should be considered for execution or not. We create a one-page business case, let's say, for each one of those project ideas, because the executives, they were a little bit old school, and they want to see paper in front of them so they can read. So we can quickly create a document like a one page or something that is a little bit more sophisticated. As I said, I saw an example of a travel authorization system. So they had a big form that was populated based on information coming from Smartsheet as well, but you can use Smartsheet automation for that. You can use for approvals as well. So that has been one use case that I have seen quite popular with some PMOs, right? They want to send a document to a executive approval, or there's a new project idea that needs approval from an executive or someone else. So you can use that automation in Smartsheet as a way to have a trail of that approval request and the approval itself. And then there's a bunch of other things here that you can build in Smartsheet automations as well. Okay. So with all that said, I'll go back here to my presentation, because reports and dashboards I'll show you in a minute. Okay. So these are some of the key features that Smartsheet offers for you. It does have integration with several systems. I know some companies, they use Jira, for example, for agile projects, right? And if that is the case, if that's what your IT team likes, for example, you can have an integration between Jira and Smartsheet as well. So that way, let's say the velocity, those dashboards that we like in Scrum, you can replicate that in Smartsheet as well, along with other dashboards or the insights that you want to provide to your project sponsor, to your executive team, using the data that you have in Smartsheet. And there's a number of other products that Smartsheet offers as well, that makes your operations a lot more efficient. We'll be covering some of those projects in upcoming webinars, but today I'm going to be talking only about Smartsheet Core. Okay. All right. So let's stop talking about theory here, and let's see what Smartsheet is capable to do. So I have created a simple, well, maybe it's not super simple for some organizations, but it's a simple reporting framework here. So I have some reports at the project level. I have some reports at the program level. I have some reports at the portfolio level, which can include the PMO as well. And then I have an example here of an executive report. And I want to show you guys how the data is aggregating up, so in a way that's going to be providing good insights for your executive team to make decisions. Okay. One thing that is important here is that I want to show it's it's easy for your project management team to use it, and I want to stress that. You guys will see that when we start with the project reporting, and then the aggregation of that data, it changes based on the needs of your PMO customers and the needs of your own PMO as well, right? Every time that we work with a different PMO, the way they want to present the data is different. And Smartsheet gives you that possibility, right? You are building something for your organization, your PMO. So the likelihood of adoption is much, much higher than another PPM tool that comes with pre-built functionalities that basically you have to ask your team to change the ways they do things so they can use the PPM system the way it has been developed for maybe other organizations. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Let me go back to Smartsheet here. We'll see where I am. Okay, so I'll continue here. So I'll show you this example for a RAID log. I define the assets for each one of my projects, right? So if I'm developing my PMO, you guys may have some templates. I basically translate some of those templates over here in the Smartsheet. So I have my budget log, for example, just with the payment milestones that I have on my project, and when I'm expecting those payments to be made, and if those payments have been made already, how much I paid for each one of them, when invoice, etc. So you can make this a lot bigger or a lot simpler depending on your needs, right? Even the look and feel can be completely different as well. It's just an example, but once again, I want to stress that if the project management team is familiar with Excel, what we have seen is that the adoption rate is much better using Smartsheet because they feel familiar with the platform, right? They feel that they don't need to use an Excel spreadsheet to do this because they can do that quite easily in Smartsheet as well. My project plan here, it's a very simple project plan. So in this case, let me just close this. In this case here, I created this project plan with some phases here. So it's a very waterfall project plan. I could have used something that is a little bit more agile. As I said, you can add columns, you can remove like you would in Microsoft Project, right? So the concept is exactly the same. If you're familiar with Microsoft Project, we'll find at home here. I can assign this to people, percent complete start dates, etc., right? And I have different views. So in this case, I'm using the Gantt view. So I can see here the Gantt chart for my project. I can see here, I can highlight the critical path for my project, right? I can set baselines as well. And when I set the baselines for my project, you see that Smartsheet is adding this baseline start, baseline finish, and variance, and I'm keeping my start and my end date. So as I progress with my project, my date are changing and all that, I continue updating my schedule, but then I have here my baseline dates, so I can compare the variance here and see how late or how much ahead I am with my project schedule. Okay, so very, very familiar, right, and very close to someone who is experiencing Microsoft Project would find using Microsoft Project. So it's nice because the PMs come here and say, okay, so I know what I have to do. I don't need much training, but of course we'll provide training for them because the way you are implementing this for your organization might be a little bit different, but it's very simple as you can see here. Okay. But then let's go to the dashboards and reports. So in this case, this is a very simple dashboard, right? That I created here. In this situation, I have the project leadership, project description. I have the project health status, executive summary. Because my project is not green, I need to see a go to green plan. And here I have some milestones, If I have any tasks that are overdue, they would show up here. I can see my upcoming milestones. This is a report that I built saying, depending on who is reading this status report, I want you to show me the task is assigned to me. Okay, so in that case here, this will change based on the person who is reading this report, and that person will see the task assigned to her or to them, right? If that's the case, right? If there are any tasks assigned to them. Then I have here my project information, budgets, actual forecast, estimated completion, and some information here from my rate log. You guys can see the change that highlights I did in the rate log spreadsheet were reflected here. In this case, I don't have all the risks and all the rate items that I had in that rate log. What I did here, I create this report and apply some filters to only show, let's say, risks and decisions or any other rate item that is high in priority, right? So you can define the rules according to your PMO. So this is a very simple example of a project status report, right? Some organizations, they start like this when they don't have anything and they're coming to Microsoft, from Microsoft project, Microsoft Excel to Smartsheet. So that way the teams can get used to what Smartsheet has to offer, okay? And then you as a PMO leader, so let me show you how this would look like from a portfolio perspective. I create another dashboard here that shows the portfolio view, right? So I may have multiple projects in this very simple PMO here. I don't have portfolios. It's just, I have project managers and I have projects, and all projects are under the PMO. That's it. There's only one portfolio for the entire PMO. And so I have 4 projects here. I can see an executive summary of those projects. So me as a project leader, as a PMO leader, I can come over here and say, okay, I can see that this project is red for this case. These other ones are yellow. This one is green. That's fine. I can see the timelines of my portfolio as well, with the red indicator. Over here, there are many ways that you can show this visualization. I chose this one just because I like it, but you can have different ways to show this same information. And then I can see all the tasks that are at risk across my portfolio. Depending on the size of your portfolio, how many projects you have, you probably don't want to have this level of granularity in your PMO dashboards, right? You want something that's a little bit more consolidated for decision making. But right, I'm just showing here what is possible, right? And then I can see the financials for all my projects. And if I want to see the details for each one of those projects, I can see here. So I see that my portfolio estimated completion is a lot higher than what I had approved from business cases. So that's not great. I need to do something here. And I can see that I have one project that's going to be under budget and that 3 other ones are going to be over budget, right? So what I'm going to do with this information is up to me. I can immediately try to move some of this money to some of these other projects here, but essentially it looks like my ways of estimating costs for these projects are not great, because typically the projects are costing a lot more than what I had estimated at the beginning, right? So I need to take a look at my methodology and change it accordingly. But at least now you have the insights that you are looking for. And then I can have here the risks of all the rate items that are high priority across my portfolio, right? So this is a very simple portfolio dashboard, right? For a PMO that is just starting, does need a lot of information. I would say personally, it's not the one that I like the most, but it gives you some information at least for you to start thinking about things, right? It gives you information about the project that are not going well, so you need to do something there. It gives you information about your financials, for example. It may give you some information about risks there, or rate items that are most important for your decision making. But yeah, things like that. But let me show you something that is a little bit more sophisticated than this. So I'll go to a different workspace here. So let me go to this one. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the uh, project assets here, because they change from organization to organization, like the columns and all that. But the idea is the same. But let's take a look at the dashboards here. So in this case, I have a project status report that's a little bit more sophisticated than that one that I previously presented. Now I have more health indicators, so it's not only a health indicator for the project. I have component health indicators here. I still have my executive summary, my go-to green plan. You see that I separated my decisions from my rate log, and I elevated that as well, because I want my project sponsor, when they start reading these, they see what are the key decisions that I want them to help me. Okay, so that's important. The way you are positioning this information is going to help you, the reader, to understand what you need from them. Right, so that's really something that you have to working on. Who are the consumers of these reports, right? And maybe you have to pilot different things so they can finally see the information they are looking for, and that becomes the standard for your other projects as well. Okay. Here I have some information about my project schedule. So I'm showing the key milestones of my project schedule differently. So you see here that I don't need the project manager copying the key milestones from the Microsoft project file over to my PPM system. I'm pulling this information directly from the project plan. As a matter of fact, all these informations come directly from the assets that PMs must maintain anyway. So the PMs are not wasting time just to create a report for me. Okay. But I can see here as someone consuming this information that my project is delayed. Okay. And in this case, it's only a 4-day delay. So it might be okay in your organization. I know some organizations, they will say, oh, you need a change request and you need to do this and do that, and that's fine. Some other organizations, they have tolerance ranges and they will accept a delay of a few days, a couple weeks, that kind of thing. Some other organizations, they don't look at the delays across the entire project plan. It will be around the go live dates for your project. So if you're changing dates across your project schedule, but your go live dates are not changing as much, then you don't need a change request. So it depends on the governance model that you have for your organization, right? And but the nice thing is that you can model that into a Smartsheet, which is typically difficult to do in another PPM tool. Then I have here my project budget. So you can see here I have my business case budget, and then as I start my projects, I have my project budget, and I have change requests, and now I have my revised budget, which in this case, it's a lot higher than my business case budget. So in some organizations, this will be a big problem, right? But I'm giving you this insight here. So, what you want to do here, do you want to go back to your portfolio steering committee or to your executive team to review your business case? Because clearly, that business case is out to lunch now. You need a lot more money. In this case, almost 11 times more money than you had in your business case, right? So you need to do something about that. And over here, I have my estimated completion is a lot higher than my revised budget. So it's another problem, right? It's not too bad, 2%. So depending on the tolerance ranges again that you have on your project management methodology, you may or may not need a change request, but at least I'm giving you some insights that will help you with your decision making, right? Some organizations, they like to see the distinction between CapEx and OpEx costs, so we can definitely do that here. I have more information at the project level. So in this case, I want to provide a lot of financial information because in this example, my PMO, my sponsors, they really want to see the financials of the project. So I put a lot more information here. Some other organizations, they may not care about that. Okay. Then I have benefits, risks, issues, change requests. I can have allocation versus utilization for the resources work on my project, so month to month. So I can see here that some people are spending more hours in this project than what I had initially budgeted for. So I can see what's going on. So anyway, you can add more information or you can decrease the information that you're having in these reports based on your needs. Okay? I'm going to show you a example of a program dashboard. So I have here, and in this case, I have a program with a couple projects. So I'm just basically aggregating information from those component projects into the program, right? So I have here some similar information and I can see the status reports for my study project. So I can click here and go directly to the project status reports for those projects if I want. If I'm the program manager, I can see the timelines for them. I can see some other information. I can start tracking myself cross-project dependencies within my program. So that's me as a program manager. I will have an asset to do that, a spreadsheet to do that as well. And I want that to be in my program status report so I can have those discussions with my program sponsor, for example. I can see the cost for my entire program. I can see the cost project to project if I want. Okay. I can see the benefits, outstanding risks and issues, etc., change requests, similar to what I had at the project level, but now aggregated to the program level. Okay. Now let's take a look at the portfolio level now. In this case, I have a PMO with a couple of portfolios here. So I'm calling this Advanced Energy Solutions portfolio. So this portfolio has 2 active projects. And here I chose to show this slightly different. So one of the things that I personally like to do is to show the strategic alignment between the projects in my portfolio and the enterprise enablers or the strategic pillars or the KPIs or OKRs that you have in your organization. So people can see how each project is supporting the strategy for your organization. So I put a picture here, and over here I have my groupings based on strategic pillars in this case. Okay? I can show the baseline view for the projects in my portfolio, the execution view. So in this case, you don't see a lot of difference here, but because the projects are, one is ahead 1 day, the other one is delayed 80 days. So it's very small, the difference, but at least you have the information here. You can have cross-project dependency within your portfolio as well. So as a portfolio manager, I want to track that. I can show the portfolio financials, portfolio benefits, risks, issues, and so on and so forth. Okay, so there's a lot of information here that you as a portfolio manager may want to have. So you can manage the portfolios and you can provide oversight to your program managers, to your project managers as well. And then let's bring this up to the PMO level. In this case, I have this dashboard here that basically, if I have multiple portfolios in this PMO, so I can have links to the portfolio dashboards, but I can see some information across the portfolios. So you see here how each initiative is supporting the strategy, but also how these initiatives are broken down into different portfolios as well. Timelines, and then I have dependencies, so portfolio financial. So it's very similar to the portfolio dashboard that I previously showed. But in this case, I'm trying to aggregate the data for the PMO leader so the PMO leader can have what they need very quickly. For example, I'm not showing all the outstanding risks and issues that I have across all my portfolios. I chose here to show only the top 10, and then the portfolio manager can go and look at each one of the individual portfolio dashboards to see more information if they want. Okay, utilization across different departments as well. So you see that I'm not using a big table anymore because that would be way too much information. So I'm trying to consolidate this, and I'm trusting that my portfolio managers will bring me also some other information that I need to know when I'm talking to them and reviewing this information together. Okay. And then I have another view here that let's say you have to interact with your finance team quite a lot. So in that case, I create this dashboard with a bunch of financial information for the projects in the portfolio. So it's all here, the breakdown between CapEx, OpEx, etc. So that way your finance team can consume that information. You see that over here at the top, I put a timeline view as well, because typically finance will be asking us when this project will be done, because we need to do amortization, depreciation of the capital assets and all that. So at least there you go. Now you know when these projects will be done, and all this information is coming directly from the projects, right? So if anything changes, I don't need to be changing my reports to finance. It will be real time here, and finance will have that information. And then last one that I want to show is the executive one. So in that case, I consolidated the information a lot more. The executives, they have a very short attention span, right? So I'm not really talking too much about portfolios and all that because the executives, they don't care. That's a way that the PMO organize how the work will be managed within the PMO and programs and portfolios. Typically, the executives, they don't care too much about that. They just want to know that, yeah, we are progressing with the strategy or not, right? In this case here, I'm not showing all projects that are in flight and just showing the ones that are red and yellow, because those are the ones that I want them to know that there's a problem, right? I don't want them to be immersed with projects that are green as well, because that's going to be a distraction, right? I want the focus to be on the things that I need their attention and I may need their decisions as well. Portfolio timelines, I'm showing the portfolio financials as well, but you see that I'm not showing a lot of information because the execs don't want that. Might not be the case in your organization. You may want to show a lot more to your executives, and that's fine. Only top 5 risks across all portfolios. At-risk portfolio benefits, so I'm not showing all the portfolio benefits, just the ones that are either red or yellow here. And I'm showing the portfolio benefits realization view. So in that case, I calculated the ROI for each one of those projects when they were submitted. And I have here the expected ROI for those projects. And then as I continue managing those projects, some projects are going to cost more or less than what I had initially got approved through the business case. And that way I'm recalculating the current ROI so I can show them, right, for decision makers. So for example, this project 15, I was expecting that I would be losing money on that, but now I can see based on my spend so far that I might be getting some financial return on that project, which is awesome. It's great. Some other projects here are in the same situation, but I might have the opposite, right? The project that was supposed to make some financial return, but in reality, it's going to be losing money for your organization, and you want to track that, right? Here, I'm showing a year-over-year net cash flow view, considering not only the project implementation costs, but also the ongoing costs and the expected benefits year over year in a horizon of 5 years as well. So the executives can see that cash flow, and that can help them to make decisions about other projects that will be approved, right? You want to make sure that you are not causing that every single year your cash flows are going to be negative, right? You want to show a good balance between money loser projects and money maker projects as well, so your executives can show that to the shareholders of your organization. Okay, so this is just a few examples to give you some scenarios that are possible to be done with Smartsheet. I'm going to go back here to my little presentation. One thing that I want to say is that start from the end, right? So what is really the information that you need to provide to your PMO customers so they can make better decisions, right? And try to minimize the amount of data that you need your project management team to capture for you, right? That's going to be key as well. I know a lot of people will want to ask, a rate log with 30 different columns and all those things. The dashboards will be, pages long. Try to minimize that and try to simplify that as well, right? Pilot that quite a lot. Do some quick wins. Show to your PMO customer if that's the information they are looking for, and then you can grow as let's say, the sophistication of the request from your PMO stakeholders increase as well. Okay. The way you do things in your portfolio, in your governance framework is important as well. If your governance is very messy, the tool is only going to amplify the noise, right? So I show you several examples, right? But you may want to say that, Bruno, if you have several of those health indicators in yellow, therefore your project should be yellow, right? Or if I have only one or two, then not necessarily my project will be yellow. You have to define those rules so it's a little bit more consistent, right? What I call a yellow project is the same that everybody else across the organization calls a yellow project as well. Right. And last point here is the integration needs, right? If you have other systems bringing data, your ERP or something like that, making sure that you have clarity about that, because that will be important for you to bring into a Smartsheet to create dashboards like the ones that I just presented. I know that we are. I spoke a lot, and I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I like to speak, and as I said, there was a lot to show. But I hope this was helpful for all of you. Alavin, I don't know if you have any questions that you want me to cover right now. No, we have only maybe 4 minutes left. Okay, so
There's
I don't
no questions.
see any. No questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, not a problem, folks. Okay, I can see here on the QA a couple of questions from Felipe. Do you recommend any Smartsheet training? Of course, Smartsheeting does have a what they call Smartsheet University, Felipe. So you can see some basic courses over there. Smartsheet also offers some training. Some certifications that you can take. So there's something available already in Smartsheet. If you have someone like us, for example, implementing Smartsheet for you, we are going to be preparing the training materials and help your team to understand how to use Smartsheet properly. Okay. And then, folks, just to finalize here, I want to make sure that you guys, we can support you guys if you are interested in using perhaps Smartsheet or learning more about Smartsheet and how it can help your PMO. Just feel free to book some time with me. I have here the link on the top, so you can go there and find some time that works for you to talk to me. And we also have here this link for a 30-day free trial on Smartsheet. So if you are interested, you want to play around by yourself, you can definitely do that using this link. Smartsheet brings a lot of the go back here to Smartsheet. If you go to this to Smartsheet Home, there's the template gallery here with a number of initial templates that you can use for your PMO. So it's not going to be like the ones that I was presenting to you, but there's a lot of things here that you can pick and start, and then you can use that as a way to learn as well and see if you like it, right? But just give you a few other options as well if you want to take a look at your own. Okay, and this is my contact information. So Alavin has shared my LinkedIn profile as well. So feel free to connect with me. I'm always sharing information like this through LinkedIn. We're going to have some other webinars as well to explore other features in Smartsheet, resource management, intake, and all those things. So I hope you guys can join us on a future webinar. So thank you so much for your time today. Wherever you might be, appreciate your time. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next webinar then. Okay, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week as well. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.